Well, welcome to the FrontRunners.
Thank you.
Come on down these stairs.
Thank you.
You will see an orange chair.
Yes.
That is our FrontRunners chair.
Oh, okay, right in the front row.
And right now, it's yours. Hilary, welcome to the FrontRunners.
Thank you.
I am so happy to see you here. You and I go way back.
We do.
I was lucky enough to do one of the first big interviews with you for Boys Don't Cry 15 years ago.
Can you believe it's been 15 years?
It's
that is way back.
Scary.
Yeah.
And you know how excited I get when I see you sink your teeth into a role that I think really deserves to have you playing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like The Homesman is one of those where it's a role that you were really able to go great places with. Where does this role of Mary B. Cuddy rank in the ones that you think have challenged you?
Well, I personally feel like they're all challenging. I don't think I play women that are faint of heart. You know, they're really go-getters. They're usually strong. They challenge me to look at the world in a broader way. And Mary B. was just another shining example of that.
Now, when you think back to a few decades ago, before the 2 Oscars, before all the TV work, before all the acclaim, is there a time or a person that you think about as being particularly inspirational in helping you get to where you are now?
Absolutely. My
Why?
mom, she just believed in me, and she said you can do anything as long as you work hard enough and you don't ever give up. One of my teachers said to her, you know, Hilary has a real gift. We were writing scenes and performing them in front of the class, and he said, I think you should support her. I remember coming alive when I was doing it in a way that I didn't know it was like my calling, you know, at that age. And I started doing school plays, and then at one time my mom was at a crossroads in her life, and she had been let go of a job that she was working, and she said, I know you really want to do this. And with $75 to our name, we drove down to California and lived out of our car.
For how long?
Not a super long period of time. She got a job shortly after, and we were able to rent a room from a woman, a single mom who was living with her daughter in Burbank. And yet, you know, my mom, her unwavering belief in me, my mom would sit with a roll of quarters at a phone booth and cold call agents and say, I think my daughter's talented, I think you should meet her. And one day, she called it was called the Harry Gold Agency at the time. And Bonnie Liedtke, who was an agent there, they said, actually, we're seeing new talent. Yes, everyone can come in. It's kind of a cold call type of thing. And I went in, and I remember reading something she asked me to read, and she said, I'd like to represent you. And I remember walking out and going, Mom, I have an agent.
Wow. And what does your mom think of everything that's gone on since?
She's so proud of me, and I think it's now for her to be validated in her choice to support me is something she walks around with a big smile on her face.
That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to watch a scene from The Homesman together with these remotes in our hand.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to pause the scene and discuss it.
Okay.
So this is a scene fairly early in the film where Mary B. is talking to Tommy Lee Jones's character, George Briggs, about a trek that you're going to go on together, transporting these 3 women who are having a hard time from Nebraska to Iowa in the 1850s. So let's take a look at The Homesman.
What's the job?
3 women in this country have lost their minds. Their husbands can't care for them properly. You and I are going to take them back across the river to Iowa.
So good.
Now, what I love about this already is that you're instantly brought into the 1855 world. Obviously, a lot of that is the production design, but it's also in how you guys really hold yourselves and act.
Thank you.
How were you able to get into that 1855 mindset?
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of what's happening at that time in the mid-1800s, like you said, parallels a lot of what's happening now in 2014.
How?
Women being trivialized, objectified, women who are strong-minded being called bossy, things like that.
Yeah.
But yes, there is a certain, I think, maybe manner of being and a way of carrying yourself that comes with that time that a corset can help lend you. But also, I think the way you talk, the way you have real manners, not just mannerisms, but manners as well.
Yeah, let's keep watching.
The Missouri River?
We leave tomorrow.
Hell, that's 5 goddamn weeks from here.
I will not sit still for profanity in my house.
I can see why you're single.
Look at that. I love how humorless
Yes.
she is.
Yes.
She did not find that funny one
No,
bit.
also, and that swearing, she won't go for that.
No.
She's a good Christian woman.
In a way, was it fun to play someone who's so stone-faced like that?
Yeah, well, it was fun to play someone who was had such strong morals and such conviction in her beliefs that she didn't stray off that. It was great.
Yeah. Okay, here's more.
And then his levity.
I need someone who can hunt and guide and spell me at the reins and help with the animals on the trip. That's why I set you free. It's your job, and you sworn to do it.
Okay, so you mentioned the corset, but how about the hair and the wardrobe? Did that help you feel that way?
I would say the dresses with the underdress weigh about 25 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that makes all the horseback riding stuff that you see later, it gives it a whole new kind of respect for women of those days who had to do that. Yeah, the hair, by the way, it's the way they wore it was so flat, with so much goop in it, and they didn't wash their hair for a long time, so I didn't wash my hair. I got to wash my hair on Fridays.
Ugh.
Yeah, and my bathtub had about this much sand in it from my hair at the end of the week.
Only once per week. I don't think I could do it. That'd be a deal killer for me. All right, here we go.
3 crazy women for 5 weeks is a lot more than I bargained for.
If you lied to me and intend on abandoning your responsibility, then you are a man of low character. More disgusting pig than honorable man.
I just love the way you say character. You obviously must have worked with a coach.
No.
No.
No, I don't know. I just wanted to find a solid base in where her voice came from. And again, going back to her morals, and this is a shining example as well, I keep saying that, but of she believes in doing the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing. And you picked a perfect scene to show those qualities that I'm talking about.
Yeah, and there's no one else in her community who's going to step up and do what she's doing, which is what you're learning about. Okay.
Thank you for the kind words, sister. You're no prize yourself. You're plain as an old tin pail and you're bossy. But I'll sit out with you because I said I would. I'll help you tend your cuckoo clocks as long as it suits me. However, I will up and leave when, where, and if I please.
Now, I want to talk about working with Tommy Lee Jones because he co-wrote this movie, he directed this movie, he's with you in almost every scene that you're in. You've done this before where you've worked with a real veteran person as a co-star and a director. That'd be Clint Eastwood for $1 Million Baby. What were the two experiences like?
There's such a pro to that. People say, oh, there are a lot of cons, and what's the pro and cons? But to me, it's pretty much all pro because they're veterans, both of them, obviously, and they've been, Tommy Lee just said today, he's been an actor professionally since 1970. So before I was born, he's been doing this. And so we had a shorthand. And you're sitting this close to your director, so it's very intimate. It's not from across the room and, you know, try this from a distance and like, what?
Right.
You know, it's right here, and it's just a couple of words that helps guide you in a way. It's fantastic.
I love that. Here's the end of the scene, which I love.
Now, if you don't mind me asking you, where the hell is my goddamn bed?
In the stable, where you belong.
Score 1 for Mary B. She won that one. You were down for the count. It wasn't looking so good. He got you, called you bossy.
Yeah, plain as an old tin pail, and then she says you
win.
belong in the stable. Her knockout punch.
Exactly. Now, without giving anything away, this relationship evolves over the film. Do you think there's a hint in these early scenes of what we're going to see later where it softens between the two of them, or is it just hatred at this point?
I think at this point it's a hatred with the underlying I need this man and how far can I push this? He's swearing again. I'd like to tell him to leave for good, but I can't because I need him. So I think it's an underlying I have to keep him here, and I'm gonna not tell him off completely.
Well, thank you, Hilary, for being with us today. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you. It's nice to see you again. It's always great to talk to you.
Absolutely. If you have not seen The Homesman, be sure to check it out. Thank you so much to the AMC Century City Theater for having us here today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Fandango FrontRunners.
Thank you.
Well, to say thank you for being here, we have made you your very own Fandango gift card.
I love this.
That is for you.
I love that you chose that picture. Did you choose it?
I did not.
Everybody, audiences at home,
Walk over here with me and take a photo with me.
we're looking here.
Yeah. Okay, you ready? Go. Great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Have a great rest of your day.